faith-filled town. Got your truck bed empty, but fill it up now. Rock, smokes, and soul for your dream spot. Call them up, they deliver on the dot. From Mooresville to Taylorsville, they got your back. Turn yards into wonderlands, that's the fact. Expert hands and friendly smiles. Drum Landscape Supply goes miles and miles.
Good morning, LKN 748. Happy Tuesday to you. I'm betting the plants, the trees, the shrubs are absolutely loving this rain. Let's find out from the expert himself, Jason Drum of Drum Landscape Supply, your local one-stop landscape shop located in Statesville, but Jason and his team delivering to all of Lake Norman, so be sure to ask them about that. DrumLandscapeSupply.com. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning.
Usually,
yeah, it is
usually
a little
we
rainy
see
out there, but it's great for plants. Yeah,
that's right. We see you outside in the garden and throughout your lawn, throughout the nursery. We see with over your 2.6 trillion offerings. So you're saying do you think the shrubs and trees like it? How far behind were we on some rain?
It's outside that window there, but I'm not going to get out in the rain right now. But yeah, I mean, it was we haven't had a significant rain in quite a while. So it's much needed, and it's good to have. Yeah, and it's a good soaking rain. I mean, it's I think we've had 1.25 inches or so here at my house in Hickory, and but yeah, it's good to have. Welcome. We knew it was coming, but we would like to have some of this in October or earlier October, but we'll take it when we can get it.
You mentioned you were going to be seeding this past weekend, I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Did you get that done?
I did, thankfully, yes. Got the seed and lime out. I'd actually fertilized earlier this fall to help green up, so I'll be putting a second application of high nitrogen fertilizer out here in about 2 weeks. So hopefully everything's taking well. Looked like I got it pretty good, so we'll see the results here in about 10 days or so.
All right, and this is how it went for me, and I didn't know if it was different for anybody else. So after I aerated, I put the seed down, and then it got watered, and the grass grew. I didn't have to do much else. Am I missing a step in there at all, Jason? Just want to make sure because it seems too good to be true right now, if I'm honest.
Yeah, no, that the grass seed that we select has a high germination rate. It germinates quickly, and so yeah, really all you have to do is add water, and it should do well for you. Now, going down throughout the rest of the fall and into next spring, you're going to want to make sure you put out a secondary application of fertilizer, probably around Thanksgiving for yourself, maybe a week or so earlier. And what that'll do is that'll feed the crown of the plants that you just planted. It'll make them thicken up, and they'll hold that nitrogen throughout the winter and keep it dark green until the spring comes, and then it'll really start using those nutrients up. And then when we get into mid-February to mid-March, you want to do another application of fertilizer, and you want to use one that has a pre-emergent in it to help keep weeds down, but really for grassy weeds like crabgrass and goosegrass and things like that. And we've got all this information and more on our basic lawn care guide, which we have online, and we also have there in the store.
It's nice that it's as easy as just watering it after I put it down. What about the shrubs and the plants and the trees? Once you plant a new one, is that as easy as I just kind of let it do its thing, or do I need to, sing to it and read books?
Well, that might help it out a little bit there, but definitely following that up. So your grass, your lawn will need some watering if it gets really dry in the spring, especially the earlier part of it. But trees and shrubs take about 1 to 2 years to fully establish. So if you were to plant something this past weekend, you'll be good for probably close to 10 days with all this rain that we're having. But if we don't have any rain, planting trees and shrubs in the fall usually ends up to about 2 to possibly 3 times a week when you first initially plant it. You just want to keep the soil moist but not overly wet. And then about once a week as we get into the colder parts of the fall. So you might figure on watering twice a week until Thanksgiving, and then maybe once a week until Christmas, and then kind of seeing where we're at from there, because usually we have a wet enough winter to where you don't have to worry about watering trees or shrubs. But then you don't want to forget about them next year as well. So the golden rule there for trees and shrubs is 1 year of care, and that'll get you along pretty well.
Of the 7.6 trillion offerings that you've got there, Drum Landscapes by Jason, take a couple 100,000, a year with scooping some of the mulch and the stuff for the beds.
Yeah.
You said that helps lock in the moisture though too, right? That's got actual purpose.
Yeah.
So a rain like this, you got some fresh mulch, let's say the pine needles holding. Does that help with the longevity of the water and making it last as long as possible for the plants?
It does, yeah. So that's what the mulch will do. It'll help to regulate that moisture and the temperatures, but it also helps to hold it in too. So yeah, the mulch is a important factor, especially with newer plantings. Now, once you get into some older plantings, some shrubs don't really care if you keep adding mulch, but your more shallow-rooted plants like your azaleas, especially camellias, rhododendron, things of that nature, they really like to have about a 2-inch layer of mulch at all times, and that helps them with their more shallow roots there. But if you have like some hollies or some old hedges and things, you don't necessarily have to have mulch on them, but it'll do, not only regulate the moisture and temperature, but it'll help to keep weeds down too. So I think everybody can agree that's a good thing.
One of the popular things I see when I drive around is the stonework, right? A lot of people doing that these days, making the updates to the hardscape, landscape throughout their yards and their lawns. How has the stone been this season? Are you happy? Because you went with that super white marble looking one. Did you like the way that one went? And how's the rest of the stone there at Drum Landscape Supply?
Yeah, the white marble chips have been a nice addition to our broad lineup of decorative gravels. And that's something that we've really seen an increase in, is people moving away from putting out an entire landscape of mulch to where they might do a few sections in a decorative stone. And that's really catching on. That's been one of our largest growing segments of our business. I mean, we're pretty balanced between mulch and plants, grass seed, fertilizer, retaining wall block, and things like that. But what we've seen the biggest increase in are the decorative stone gravels. And because of our broad selection that I've been working on for almost 15 years, we're getting people that'll call us from like Miller's Creek up there near North Wilkesboro, Hickory, Morganton, down to Huntersville, and on over into Davie County. So we're getting a really broad range on that. If you ask, that's what people are asking for the most out of us to deliver from farther away.
The decorative stone. Now the mulch and the pine straw and pine needle that helps with the beds. Does the decorative gravel help at all with the moisture or any kind of water control or anything like that for your lawn and garden?
It does to a certain degree. Now it can also take away from new plantings if you're getting a lot of reflected heat on certain species of plants. So we like to recommend put the decorative gravel out 1 year after a new planting. And if you have to plant new plants in an existing bed that has a decorative gravel, we like to recommend to just do a mulch ring around that plant for the first year and let the mulch do its job and then do the decorative gravel later. Because once you get those roots established better, it's a lot more forgiving for something like the gravel that might add heat. But it does help with weed control. And underneath the decorative gravel, we recommend a landscape fabric. We don't generally recommend it underneath pine straw or mulch. But under the decorative gravel, you want to put that under there to keep the gravel from sinking down into the mud, or not mud, but necessarily dirt, because gravity will do its part and keep pushing that rock down. But it also helps to keep the weeds out of the stone as well. So it is beneficial in helping erosion control, but it's not as beneficial to plants initially as the mulch and the pine straw would be.
I don't know if this is a rule of drum or not, but everything you read on the internet is true. And that's how I ended up killing a plant just in the single season. So rather than that, the better thing is to go buy Drum Landscape Supply. You and your team, let's say someone's got questions. Maybe they don't know everything about what they're looking for, or they know a little bit and maybe enough to be dangerous, but they want that extra expert level. Do you guys offer that kind of help and walk through the process or any kind of questions people have if they come by?
Sure. And I think I can speak for everybody at work that it's one of our favorite things to do is to help somebody out and really help them to understand some different things in landscaping, because we might take it a little bit for granted that people know that you're supposed to keep watering a shrub more than just a month or so. But, it's not only just the watering recommendations, it's the fertilizer, it's the type of mulch that they might need and different things like that. And we're here to help with that. You might go to the box store and you see the pretty thing up there on the shelf, but you don't really know the best use for it. So it's not only the things that you see, but it's the things that you might not know about, like our Carbon Pro G granular biochar compost. And so what that does, that helps to break up this hard clay soil that we have, helps it to absorb more nutrients and water. So we've got products just like that, and many, many more that we can recommend to help solve your issues at in your landscape.
Yeah, that's better than me just making it up. Definitely
Yeah,
talk
I
to the
usually
experts.
just make it up too. But I do have my plants that I had inside during the winter. I put outside in the summer. What point do I need to bring them back inside?
I think we're getting pretty close. We've had a little bit of frost above Interstate 40, just very light here and there. I had a tiny bit here a few days ago. So after this rain moves through, I would recommend go ahead and bring your plants in, because even though they've raised the lows just a little bit, we were at like 35 to 36 forecast here. They raised it up to 38. Anything at 37 or below, you can potentially get frost. So even though we may not be at the freezing temperatures to where it could hurt the leaves, if it's exposed and gets frost on those leaves, it's just about as bad as being frozen. So I would try to get them moved in, or at least underneath a cover, to where there's like underneath your deck or in the garage, to where there's no threat of frost on them.
Jason Drum Landscape Supply, your local one-stop landscape shop, drumlandscapesupply.com. Jason and his team located in Statesville, but delivering to all of Lake Norman and beyond with all 6.2 trillion offerings that they've got. Jason, we so appreciate you this morning. Stay dry, my friend, and looking forward to chatting with you on Friday.
All right. Sounds good. Hope everybody has a great week.
You as well, sir. Next hour, we got a few friends coming through. Chase Myers, WSIC meteorologist, is going to be stopping by. You know, it's Halloween this week, and so trick-or-treating when you're out and about. What's the weather going to be like? Got to figure that out.
You know the place to go. Drum Landscape Supply, where gardens grow. From Mooresville to Cornelia, Secret to Taylorsville, they bring the dream to life. They always will. In every town, they got your back. From Moxville to Trumpet's more than that. Experience hands make your dream complete. Drum Landscape Supply, your garden suite.